The next rule says, when the noun in the subject, are the thought of different units, the plural verb is used. What did we learn previously? If there are two nouns, if there are two words which used together represent the same idea, the same thought, the same thing, that case the verb will be singular. But if the two nouns that are used together represent something different from one another, have got no connection with each other, in that case also the verb is going to be plural in nature. For example, salwar and kurta are two pieces of a female dress. Here I am talking about two different items which are used separately, right? Therefore, my verb is plural. My secretary and his receptionist are on leave today. My secretary, his receptionist are two different people. Therefore, my verb is plural in nature. Chapatis and dal are charged separately. Again, these are two different food items we are talking about, chapati and dal, which can be used together, which may not be used together as well. So, they have their own individual identity. And therefore, I am going to use a plural verb along with such subjects. Therefore, when the subject of a sentence comprises of nouns which are different in nature, which have got nothing similar, which has got nothing in common, in that case, my verb which will be used will be plural in nature. Okay? The next rule says, when there are two or more subjects in singular, okay, and they are joined by conjunctions such as or, nor, either, or, neither, nor. So, any of these combinations are used. In that case, the verb will always be singular in nature. What does it mean? If I say, neither Karan nor Kritika is eating the lunch. Okay, I've got two subjects here, Karan and Kritika, and these two subjects are used with the conjunction neither nor. So, in this case, the verb that I use in this sentence will be singular in nature. Similarly, if I say either Karan or Kritika has done the work. Again, two subjects joined with one another using the conjunction either or. That is why my verb will be singular in nature, that is has. Right? So, if two singular nouns are joined with one another using the conjunction or, nor, either or neither nor, my verb will be singular in nature. Let us look at some of the examples given in your book. No girl or boy was punished. Girl and boy are two subjects, two singular nouns, right? And these two singular nouns are joined with one another using the conjunction or. Therefore, my verb is singular in nature. Similarly, if I say no nook or corner was left unexplored, nook or corner, again two nouns which are joined together using the conjunction or. The verb is was, which is singular in nature. Similarly, either the cat or the dog has spoiled it. The cat, the dog, two singular nouns joined together using the conjunction either or. Therefore, my verb is singular, which is has. Therefore, dear students, it is important for us to understand in this rule that if I am joining two singular nouns using the conjunction or, nor, either or neither nor, the verb will be singular in nature. Right? There are some more examples which are given. Neither water nor air is available on the moon. We've used either, neither nor, and my subject, my nouns are water and air, which are singular components. Therefore, my verb is singular. Neither your father nor your mother seems to be happy. Your father, your mother, joined together using neither nor. My verb is seems, which is singular in nature, because we've learnt that it is only with the singular subjects that we add an s or es to the end of the verbs. However, we need to understand that if in a sentence which is joined using the conjunctions neither nor or either or, if one of them is plural, okay, and the plural one is near to the verb, in that case the verb will also be plural. What do I mean by that? Let us explain and understand this with the help of example. If I say neither, let me take this example. You can see both the subject, both the nouns were singular in nature, right? Let me take the noun. Neither your father nor your sisters. Your father is singular, but your sisters is plural. And the verb will be placed after the plural subject. Therefore, it will be plural in nature. So, seem to be happy. Similarly, if I give you another example, either Karan or the other students of grade 7. So, Karan is singular, but the other students of grade 7 is plural in nature. My verb will be placed after the plural subject and therefore it will be plural in nature. Thus, I used have and not has. Therefore, dear students, if the sentence, if in a sentence, two singular nouns are joined with one another using the conjunction or, nor, either or, neither or, the verb will be singular. In a sentence, one of the subject is plural and the plural subject is placed near the verb. In that case, the verb will be plural in nature. Alright, I am going to pause here, dear students. We are going to continue further with the next rule in the next lecture. Thank you. Hello, dear students. Welcome to another lecture. In this class, we are going to continue with chapter 10 of class 7th English Grammar Nagaland Board, which is subject-verb agreement. In the previous lecture, we discussed and understood rule number 1 to 9. Now we shall begin with the 10th rule. Now, the 9th rule says that if two singular nouns are joined with one another using the conjunctions or, nor, either or neither nor, the verb will be singular, right? Then we learnt that if the subject which is closer to the verb, right? If there are two subjects, if there are two nouns in the sentence which are joined with one another using either or, neither nor, the one which is closer or the closest to the verb is plural. My verb will always be plural in nature. Okay. The third rule says that if I have two subjects or if I have two nouns in a sentence which are joined with each other using either or, neither nor, the verb will always agree with the subject which is nearest to it. That means if the subject nearest to the verb was singular, the verb will be singular. If the subject nearest to the verb is plural, the verb will be plural. Let us understand with the help of examples. Either he or I. These are my two nouns, pronouns rather. The verb is closest to the pronoun I. And we know with I we use am. I cannot say I is or I are. It is always I am. Similarly, either you or he. Again, two pronouns, you and he. Which pronoun is closest to the verb? He. And this is what? Singular in nature. Since this is singular in nature, therefore my verb is also singular in nature. Right? Neither she nor you. Again, two pronouns, she and you. She is singular, you is plural. What is the subject closest to the verb? You, which is plural. Therefore, my verb is also plural in nature. Neither my friend nor I am to blame. Again, two nouns we have, my friend, I. My friend is singular and with I we use am. Since I is the closest to the verb, therefore I am going to use am over here. Alright. But it has been advised to you that we are supposed to, in order to make sure that we are not making any mistakes, rather than writing the sentence, neither my friend nor I am to blame, or neither she nor you are to blame, we can use the different construction of the sentence, which is, he is not to blame, nor are you. So here there is no confusion with regards to which subject or which noun is closest to the verb, and that will vary. Because we know that are is used with you is plural, so are is plural. He is mistaken, or else I am. Again, with he we have used the pronoun is, and with I we have used the verb am. Alright. The next rule says, often quite wrongly, the verb is made to agree in number with a noun near to it instead with the proper subject. What happens in a sentence usually? That, in a sentence, the verb is made to agree with the noun which is near to it, not with the subject of the sentence. Therefore, it is very important for us to first understand what is the subject in the sentence. Whatever is the subject in the sentence, the verb will have to agree with it. For example, the quality of apples. Here, the subject is the quality of apples and not just apples. Okay. What do the students do usually? They take apples to be the subject and use the verb were. However, here the subject is the quality of apples, which is singular in nature, and therefore I am going to use was. Similarly, his knowledge of Indian languages was good. My subject is his knowledge of Indian languages. Okay. What do the students usually do? They just take the noun, which is Indian languages, and they use the verb were along with it. Rather than using the verb were, according to the noun, we have to look at the subject. And the subject is his knowledge. Of what? Of the Indian languages. So, his knowledge is singular and therefore my verb will be was. Similarly, one of the boys was absent yesterday. Again, the same thing. The kids usually mistake, boys to be the subject and they use the verb were with it. However, my subject is one, and with one we use was. So, dear students, this rule simply tells us that in a sentence we should not make a mistake of using the verb according to the noun which is closest to it. Rather, we need to identify the subject of the sentence, and according to the subject we have to use the verb. Alright? Next rule says that when the subject, which might be singular in form, is taken as a whole in a plural meaning, then the verb has to be plural. So, the subject is singular, but it is taken as a whole. It is taken in a collaborative form. It is taken as a plural form. Therefore, my verb is going to be plural in nature. For example, a lot of trees have been cut. A lot of trees. This is a plural phenomenon, a plural, subject matter that we are talking about, and therefore I have used have. More than 12 boys have participated in the essay writing competition. So, more than 12 boys. Again, we are representing a picture, a whole picture of more than 12 boys. Therefore, my verb is plural. The majority of voters are illiterate. So, the majority of voters are illiterate. So, here again, the idea is, the subject is the majority of voters, which is plural. Therefore, my verb is plural. So, when the subject, which is although written in the singular form, but it talks about a whole, subject, it talks about a plural subject, a plural meaning is being conveyed to it, my verb will be plural in nature. Okay. Next rule says, the verb in a sentence should always agree with the number of the subject. As we've learned, if it is plural, the verb is plural. If it is singular, the verb is singular. And not with the number of the noun which is written along with it. If in a sentence, along with the subject, there is a noun which is added. And how is that noun added? Using the word with, or together with, or in addition to, or accompanied by, or as well as. So, if my subject is having, or there is a noun which is added to my subject, I am going to look at the number of the subject and not that noun which is added along with it. For example, the captain. This is a singular subject, we all know. With all its soldiers. Now here, his soldiers, this is a noun which is added to the subject using with. I am going to be a smart child and will use a singular verb because my subject is singular, and we have learnt that the verb should always agree with the subject and nothing else in the sentence. Similarly, the principal together with his staff was present at the ceremony. The principal is my subject. His staff is a noun which is added to the subject using together with. Again, my verb will agree with the subject of the sentence. The house, in addition to its contents. So my subject is the house, which is singular in nature. Therefore, my verb is singular because it agrees with the subject. Alright. So, dear students, my verb should agree with the subject and not with the nouns which are used along with the subject. Great.